Yo guys, sorry you already know that today I'm bringing you guys my battle for week 5 of the TBU. This week we're taking on RTK63 and his Portland Timber. Now, before we get into the video, I first want to apologize, for the lack of creepy Pokemon Center music. I know I'm going to miss it this week too, but hopefully it'll be back next week. We shall see. I also want to apologize for how long this video is, because there's going to be a lot of pausing, and there's a lot of things to explain. So before we get into all of the explanation as to what has happened in this battle, first let's go over the team from left to right. Pokemon that I brought. I brought Uxie, physically defensive, Stealth Rock, Psychic. Actually, I believe I brought Psyshock. I brought Psyshock, it didn't change on Showdown, my bad. U-Turn and Foul Play. I wanted a Stealth Rocker, and I needed some. I think I brought like 3 physically defensive Mons, just because he has a lot of physical offense, and a lot of his special offense doesn't necessarily scare me too much unless I let it get out of control. So I forget specifically what Uxie was for, possibly for Zygarde, but I think there was something else. Oh, it was for Mienshao. He had a Mienshao on his team that he did not bring, which I was very surprised at, because he could do a lot of damage to me with that. But so it was physically defensive specifically for Mienshao. I originally was going to put a Cobra Berry, but I figured that I wanted recovery, so I have leftovers. I also brought, as you can see, Volcanion. Volcanion is Choice Scarf this week with Steam Eruption, Sludge Wave, Fire Blast, Focus Blast. It's just max special attack, max speed. It needed to be max speed timid to outspeed his Aerodactyl, which also did not show up. So there's that. Thunderous, I threw a Life Orb on it. I didn't really think a lot about the item. We'll get into why. But I do have Thunderous with a Life Orb with Hidden Power Ice, Thunderbolt, Thunder Wave, and Dark Pulse with enough speed to outspeed is Mienshao, and then the rest in special attack and then HP or whatever. So I had to debate between Hidden Power Ice for the Zygarde or Hidden Power Ground for the Electivire, but I figured that Dark Pulse was a neutral move that would hit Electivire, and I was more scared of the Zygarde. But speaking of the Zygarde, my main switch in that would be Vaporeon. Physically defensive leftovers, Scald, Wish, Protect, Baton Pass. He doesn't really have Scald switching outside of, like, I mean, he does, like Tapu Fini, and then I guess like Hypno and whatnot, but I can just Baton Pass out, or I have switch-ins to them. So I wasn't really scared of his Scald switch-ins per se. Mega Mawile was brought basically max attack Adamant with enough speed to outspeed Umbreon, which also did not show up, and the rest in HP. Play Rough, Sucker Punch, Pain Split, Knockoff, and then Drampole was brought physically defensive for his Darmanitan, which did not show up. Roost, Hyper Voice, Draco, Meteor, Flamethrower. Flamethrower over Fire Blast because I was getting a little risky with a lot of low accuracy moves this week, so yeah, that's what I did. So it's time for some story time, and we're going to set up this battle. So, me and RTK are going to, we decided that we're going to hang out, get on call, play some Overwatch, and do a whole bunch of fun stuff. But as we start talking, we were like, well, hey, like, when do we want to battle? And the more we talked, we realized we don't actually have a time that we could have battled outside of the day that we were. This was actually this past Friday evening. There was no other time that our schedules would have allowed for us to battle. Not even in the slightest. So, we basically had to both finish our teams. That is where I had more of a team built than he did, but my Thunders didn't have an item, so I just threw one on. And there was some things like I didn't get to double check, so I just kind of kept with what I had, and RTK essentially had to throw half his team together, and then we battled. But then we had to worry about jetting our Mons on the spot because we weren't expecting to play, so this was like playing on the dot, gen like right on time, like right at the time. So then I had to do that, then he had to do that, and then we had to battle. And we get 20 minutes into our first battle, and we DC, so now we have to recreate it. So at this point, at the start of this battle, we have been doing Pokemon stuff that was unplanned for about an hour, at least. Just between figuring out that we needed to battle, getting the Pokemon genned in, and then the battle set up. So all of that has taken place already, and it's been about an hour or a little bit more since we had been playing through the battle, and we did have to recreate it. Because this is a recreation, that is why there's some things that I need to pause and explain. But let's go ahead and just finally start the battle. Again, I'm sorry, this video is probably going to be a little bit long. But just keep that in mind that it has been about an hour or more's worth of Pokemon so far. So so far this is a recreation. So I let off with the Uxie because, I mean, me and Chow didn't show up, so I just wanted to get Stealth Rocks off against something and kind of gauge what this is. He let off with the Electivire, just a Volt Switch, fair enough. Because I didn't bring Crocodile or anything. I don't really have like an immunity to Volt Switch, so that's kind of sucks on my part. But he's going to go right into the Tapu Fini, so I'm assuming that he's just going to defog. Even if he doesn't defog for some reason, then I don't think he's going to hurt too many of my Pokemon. I have pretty decent switch-ins, but the main one that I decided to go for... Oh, I went for U-turn, sorry. I went for U-turn A to see if this thing was going to outspeed me, and then B if he, like, went for something else. So that is why I was safe to go into my Mega Mawile, because I don't know if you took a look at the Pokemon that RTK did bring, but he doesn't have great switch-ins to play rough at all. I'm pretty sure even if his Silvally was like a resisting type, I mean, it would still do like a good bit, but we're going to find out that is Silvally something. Apparently it was Silvally flying, which I just saw blue and I was like, water maybe? I don't know. I looked at my moves, they didn't say that they were super effective or not very effective, and I didn't wait long enough to see what type it was on the thing. So I go for the Play Rough, and I do a lot of damage to it. I really should have just went for knockoff. I wanted to go for knockoff this turn. I was like, he's just going to go for parting shot, but I wanted to go for Sucker Punch just in case he was trying to get some damage off before he died or something. I don't know. But yeah, I really should have went for knockoff because that would have been really nice. I mean, still with parting shot, it wouldn't have done too much, but it still would have been like damage, which is great. But now the Metagross is in, and I wanted to switch something in, so I switched in Uxie, which ends up being really nice because I mean, I could have switched in like Vaporeon or something, but I figured Uxie was a good like scouting thing because I don't necessarily need Uxie. Like, I do need Uxie, but I don't like need it at like full health. I just need it to switch in sometimes and to scout. So I get my rocks up. So now we both have rocks up on the same side, or on both of our sides. And I figure if he's going to get rocks up on my side of the field, I can at least get my rocks up so we're even, because I don't have hazard removal and his hazard removal is default. So either we both have rocks up or neither of us do. He went for that second Stealth Rock there because he actually went for Meteor Mash this turn, but he missed in the original battle. So in the recreation, instead of, you know, missing another Meteor Mash, he just went for Stealth Rocks again. So that is why that happened. So that was a Meteor Mash miss. He was trying to get damage on the Uxie and unfortunately did not get it. So I'm going to reveal the Foul Play, which is going to do a lot to this Metagross. Like really a lot. According to the calc, it shouldn't have done that much, but apparently Foul Play just calcs wrong literally every single time. I don't understand why like Pokemon calcs don't seem to get Foul Play right, because the last like 3 times I've tried to calc Foul Play, they don't calc correctly. So if anyone knows why or how to calc that correctly, please let me know, because it never calcs correctly. We checked it after the battle, and that was not the damage that the calc said it should have done. But either way, I do get a lot of damage, unless his Metagross was like misgened, which it could have been. But then he goes into Finny, I U-turn out, back into Mega Mawile. You give me the switch into Mega Mawile, it's gonna happen. So he's gonna take this time, and he's going to sack off his Silvally, which I was super cool with, so I don't need to worry about Silvally, which is great because I didn't really prep for it. For me, it's kind of hard to prep specifically for like a Silvally when you don't know exactly what it's going to do. So I just kind of figured that I'd take my team and then I'd just deal with it as it came, and thankfully I was able to. Right here he goes into Hypno, and his justification for this was because he wanted me to just kind of like overthink and overanalyze like what he could possibly do and get scared and just switch out, which I don't think was the right move, because I think he had things that he could do to force me to switch out. He had Pokemon, probably things like Zygarde, like that would have made me switch out, but he just went to Hypno. But I just opened up Showdown, I looked at all the moves that Hypno could possibly get, and I was like, I'm not scared, and I should be able to outspeed because I have speed investment, and he probably doesn't. So yeah, with that being said, I go for the knockoff and I kill Hypno. So that's just 2 free kills for Mega Mawile. That's more kills than Mega Mawile has gotten in any other game this season, which is pretty fantastic. And now he sends out the Electivire, and he's at a roll where Sucker Punch like might be able to kill, but it's a roll and it's not in my favor, so I'm not going to risk it. and so I switch out. This time I'm going to go into Drampa because I assume he's just going to Volt Switch, but he could go for like a Flamethrower or something. Because I think I calced, and I think it should be a specially offensive Electivire, based on the damage that Volt Switch was doing. I might be wrong, but I think that's what it was. So I figured either of those two moves, Drampa didn't mind. But now he's going to go into the Metagross, and I look, like, there's nothing that Metagross can do that's going to take out Drampa. I'm just going to let Drampa take some damage, go for the Flamethrower, and get the free kill to get this Metagross out of my face. But unfortunately, he reveals the Z move. Metagross is one of his Z move users, and of course it had to be Sub-Zero Slammer. Was so upset at this. I don't know, because the only things that were like Ice Weak, well, there was a few Ice weaknesses on my team, but still, I was just like, really? You had the Ice Z move just for this? Ugh, so dumb. And unfortunately, even though I'm physically defensive, I'm not going to be able to live that. But I am going to be able to send out Mega Mawile now, and this time I'm going to get a free knockoff, I believe. Oh, I go for this. Okay, I go for the Sucker Punch thing. He's just going to kill me. He goes for Stealth Rock just so he can play Sucker Punch mind games with me. I need to save Sucker Punch because I need to use it for things like Electivire and whatnot. So I just went for the knockoff, and this time I went for the Meteor Mash. So he actually just outmaneuvered my Sucker. He won the Sucker Punch mind games because I didn't want to waste all my Sucker Punches because I need them for Electivire, possibly Zygarde if he starts setting up things like that. So yeah, it's getting a little spooky. So Zygarde comes in, I go into Vaporeon to try and see what he's going to do, and he's just going to go for the 1,000 Arrows. I check it, he's not Band-Aid, he's not Life Orb, anything like that, so now I'm a little scared they could be like a Dragon Dance set, and I would not like that, so I need to make sure that I am, you know, not losing to that. But he's going to withdraw, I think did I go for the Wish or did I go for the Scald? I think I went for the Wish. Yeah, I actually went for the Wish. Because I figured if he attacked me, then I could just heal up. And if he went for a Dragon Dance, I'm pretty sure he wouldn't have been able to kill me with one move, and then I probably would have had to Scald until I burned or died or something. So that would have been scary, but yeah. So I just go for the Wish, and then now that Tapu Fini is in, unfortunately I wish I could have. I wanted to switch in Mega Mawile right there, but I didn't, which is probably good that I didn't because he ended up double switching into Zygarde. Maybe he thought that's what I was going to do. But oh, I Baton Pass because I'm smart, and I go into Thundurus, which was kind of like a risky move, but at the same time it's not because I'll get the health back, so it's like if this doesn't work out, that's alright. I think I just played safe and go for the Hidden Power Ice. He has two switch-ins to it, which sucks. He's got the Tapu Fini and he's got the Electivire. So he predicts me to go for the Hidden Power Ice, predicts correctly, and goes into Fini, which is cool. At this point, I mean, I probably should have just went for the Thunderbolt, but I'm pretty sure that's not what I did. So I come back and I go into Uxie to try and just get some damage on this thing and take a hit. Unless I predicted the double switch, I'm not sure, but he switched into Electivire. So yeah, it's a good thing I didn't go for the Thunderbolt, but, you know, I don't know. There's a lot of double switching, and when people start switching too much, one of those times they're not going to switch, and it can come back and be bad for you. But he's going to go for the Thunderbolt, and I'm just going to get some damage off and go for the Psyshock. Like I said, Uxie is a little bit expendable in the sense that I can be a little bit risky with it. I can also live another Thunderbolt, and I should be able to kill with a Psyshock. So that is what I plan on doing. He's going to Volt Switch. I think I just go for another Psyshock unless I go for Foul Play. I think I went for Psyshock first. So I'm going to go for the Psyshock, right? And it's going to hurt him. Not that much though, which really, really sucks. So I'm getting scared that he's going to start setting up Dragon Dances on me. So because of that, he does set up a Dragon Dance, and then I'm going to go for the Foul Play, which is going to do a little bit more since he's at +1. Actually, to be fair, I think the Foul Play calc on Zygarde was about accurate, so I don't know. Just the calcs confuse me when it comes to Foul Play specifically. So he takes a lot of damage. He's low, which is cool because now like Sucker Punch can like hurt him. But all right, so that is a Power Construct Zygarde. That is not allowed. His Zygarde got misgened. All right, so let's look at this. That's why remember, before starting this recreation of a battle, we have been doing Pokemon stuff that we were not planning on doing for at least an hour. So at this point in the battle, we've been doing stuff like that for, what, an hour and 20 minutes? Something like that? I don't know. and his Zygarde got misgened. Yes, he should have looked over it and seen. Yes, I mean, person that gen maybe should have seen that. It's just a simple mistake, but at this point, to fix this, we would have to start over again, which would be risking another DC, and he would have to get a regen, and we would be spending even more time. Remember, this is the time that, like, we were just gonna be, like, hang out, have fun, not play, like, Pokemon or whatever, but we were doing this out of necessity. So we don't really know what to do at this point. So when this happens, me and RDK are kind of in the similar attitude where we just want to, like, kind of make this work. So that's kind of what we did. I'm going to just hit play as I kind of just say what we did. Obviously he can't have a Zygarde 100% or whatever it's called. So he just messaged me and he just said, kill this. He was just like, just kill this. You know, I shouldn't have this, just kill it. And I'm like, alright. So he's just gonna keep Dragon Dancing while I take him out. And then, because that Zygarde would have killed me as an Uxie, I mean, after the one Dragon Dance, he wasn't just gonna Dragon Dance and let me foul play him again, he was probably gonna kill me. I was like, well, you would have killed Uxie, so why don't you just kill Uxie with, you know, whatever you send in. So he sends in the Tapu Fini, and he agrees to that. He's like, alright. So since the rocks are already up on the field, I'm just going to continually go for stealth rocks while he takes me out. So that's the one-for-one trade-off that we decide to do, and then we're just going to play it from there. And then we'll kind of discuss at the end of the battle, you know, everything that comes from this decision that we made and then whatnot. So it does take a few turns because I got leftovers. I forget if he has leftovers or not. But yeah, so he's going to... Does he take me out? No, of course, because Uxie has to be fat and won't die. Yeah, so we're both getting leftovers. I mean, I don't really mind him getting, like, some leftover stuff. At this point, it's not even, like, 100% clear-cut, like, battle, per se. So we're just kind of going from that. Now, what this does allow is, after he kills that, is I can go into Volcanion. So, again, that's like a clean switch into Volcanion that maybe I wouldn't have gotten before. But, I mean, Uxie would have been dead, so then I would have... There's so many theory-moning things that we'll talk about at the end. But, so from this point on, we're just kind of playing it as is. So I'm Scarf, I'm going to go for the Sludge Wave. It should be able to take this out, even though it doesn't, but, I mean, he's not going to take me out. He went for the Defog, I guess, just to take less rocks damage from Electivire. Maybe he thinks he can either win or just, I don't know, whatever with Electivire. He also maybe thought that he was faster, and then he could get damage off, and then all that good stuff. So, but I'm going to go for the Sludge Wave. Volcanion is going to get a kill, and then Electivire is going to come in. And looking at the health that Electivire has, I'm thinking that I will be able to take out the Electivire, and I'm going to be able to win 4-0, thanks to the clutchness of Scarfed Volcanion. But he reveals that he is actually Assault Vest Electivire. Does not die. He goes for the Thunderbolt. I do die, and that was really unfortunate. However, what that allows me to do is to get another kill with Mega Mawile. Mega Mawile ended up with 4 kills this game, which is amazing. And I was super happy about that. So, that was the game, and it ended in a 3-0 victory for me. Alright, so I'm gonna... Ah, no! Let's go back to the start here. There we go. Well, let's go back to the screen. So, it ends in a 3-0 victory for me, and that is the score that we ended up officially going with. Once we had finished this battle, we basically had to just talk to the admins and figure out what we're supposed to do. I guess the most fair thing to do would have been to play it all again, but this is a Wi-Fi league, so so they didn't want us playing on Showdown. Neither of us felt like playing on Wi-Fi again, also risking a DC and things like that. So RTK didn't care too much about losing. I obviously didn't care too much about winning. And we tried theory-moning a little bit as to what would have happened. Basically, I mean, at that point, so Zygarde had a Dragon Dance up, but was pretty low. So he would have been able to take out the Uxie, and then I I said that I would send in Mega Mawile, go for the Sucker Punch, which I stand by what I do. I actually don't remember off the top of my head if, because he had Extreme Speed, if that would go past Sucker Punch. But I said that I would send in Mega Mawile, and then he would have switched out. So he would have switched out of his Zygarde into something, and then from there, we're not really clear as to what would have happened, because there's a chance that Vaporeon could have like lived a hit from Zygarde and then taken it out. There's a chance that he doesn't have the Dragon Dance up and I can Sucker Punch later in the match and I can kill the Zygarde, but there's a chance that there's more collateral damage. Maybe I don't have Pokemon alive, such as my Scarf Volcanion or things like that. So there's just so much theory mining that we just weren't able to tell who would have won had the battle, continued. Maybe I would have gotten swept by Zygarde. That's a very real possibility that we'll never really know. But again, this was a decision that both of us, as the people battling, made, or agreed to, and the admins of the league agreed to. So because all of the important people involved, agreed that we can just let this stay as is, we were able to, and that concluded a good 2 to 2.5 hours worth of just playing Pokemon when we didn't really plan on it, and then we just didn't want to keep at this battle. So in terms of how that is, that's basically it. I mean, if there's more questions, feel free to ask, and I can try and just explain more. You can give your thoughts on how you think the battle would have ended. I think, honestly, the more I think about it, I might have actually lost, so I'm not entirely sure. But my only thing that I want to say is that, if there's people, specifically maybe other coaches or competitors that, would think that this is unfair to me, the main thing that all I would have to say is just beat me, and it's fine, because I am 3-2 right now, but all that has to happen is for me to lose 1 or 2 more games, and I'm probably not getting in playoffs. So if I just keep winning, then I'll be in playoffs, whatever. But if anyone's unhappy about it, just beat me, don't let me win, and then this game will mean nothing in the long run. So one game, one little situation isn't going to make so hypothetically, if I won the TBU or something like that, it's not just gonna come back to this game and be like, oh, this is the reason if this didn't happen, blah 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 blah. It's like, well, to get to that point, I'm gonna have to win 6 more games. So you can't just put it on one thing. This was a decision that both the competitors and the admins agreed to, so that is what we're sticking with. And I think that is enough explaining for me. Again, if there's any other questions, any other whatever comments, things like that, feel free to leave them and I'll do my best to answer them. And so that's my side of things from this battle. So that is going to be interesting. And the next week we're finally returning. Actually, wait, no, we're not even returning. We're finally starting. Next week we play our first division game, because divisions are teams of 3. So we have 2. Both of our division opponents are being played right at the end of the season. So I play Polymac of the West Coast Wingulls next week. So that should be fun. And these next couple games are really going to be important to affect whether or not I'm in the playoffs. But we're going to keep trying. Hopefully next week is a little bit less uglier than this. And hopefully, we don't have any more issues like that. So that has been this battle. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Make sure you go check out RTK. He's a good friend of mine. And his links will be in the description. And that is going to be everything for me. So thank you guys for watching. And until next time, guys, stay sly.